Hello indie game fans! The final part of the indie games I missed in November may save you some money, since there are a number of completely free smaller titles, a number of free demos and a hidden gem or two that will be of interest. You may know that I'm a fan of pixel art, so of course, Night Reverie Prologue caught my eye. This is a puzzle adventure title that looks like it has a nice variety of gameplay elements, where a young child must solve the mystery as to why his house is distorted. It's a little bit otherworldly, with elements that may just be a child's imagination, but it looks fantastic and this free demo, comprising of the first act, is totally worth a play. A surprise hit out of nowhere is Amazing Cultivation Simulator, a Chinese title which released out of early access and got an English translation along with it. It looks very similar to something like RimWorld, but on top of base building and managing your disciples, you can hunt down demons and even ancient monsters who will lay siege to your town. As a Chinese person, of course I'm proud that this managed to find an audience, so please check it out to learn more. This video is brought to you by the life and suffering of Sir Brante, Chapter 1 and 2, a gorgeous narrative-driven RPG which is impressed in this free demo.
When the twins came down to Earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them. 1, 2, 3. The twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand. Guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil. Always patient, never spoiled.
It takes place in a world where a person's lot in life is determined at birth, where our protagonist may just be the person to break that chain. It promises true choices and not just illusions, and also includes a rebirth mechanic where you keep some knowledge of your past life. The public does seem to really like this, so do check it out and wishlist the full game if you like it. A very special mention does go to Legend Bowl as well, and if you're thinking, hold on, Clement doesn't really cover sports title, so why now? It is because one of you did reach out to me via email to tell me of this wonderful arcadey sports title, and I do love seeing passion for indie games, so do feel free to reach out anytime. It probably does not have to be said, but this looks to bring back NFL Blitz, where the mainline EA games have gone more in that sports simulation direction, so if you have any nostalgia for the arcade classic, do check this out. A free short adventure platformer is Aurora, A Child's Journey, where you play as a child using her imagination to discover who or what is responsible for the fires around her village. The setting looks unique and just a tad creepy, but for a free title that's at the most 30 minutes, why not give this a go? I do have a soft spot for pinball titles, despite not really being into the physical machines, and the title of interest is Brave Pinball, where instead of a ball, you are literally hitting the hero character around. There appears to be RPG elements like leveling to make your heroes stronger to do more damage, as well as massive bosses, so this does seem unique at the very least, even though hitting a character around does look a little awkward. Needless to say, I'm a fan of the pixel art, although it is mixed with HD hand-drawn enemies, which seems odd, but kudos to this developer for trying. This developer has put out a number of free narrative entries this year, such as The Night Fisherman, The Imagined Leviathan and more, with The Change Architect being their latest. All of these are free, short, narratively driven games, where in this, you play as a protest organizer stuck in an apartment, which seems interesting. Being a fan of roguelite deck builders, of course Vault of the Void gets a spot. This looks similar to Slay the Spire or even Fate Hunters due to the energy and card system, but there is no player avatar. There is, however, a rune socketing system to upgrade your cards, and the twist here from the description in the Steam page is that it gives you the chance to change your deck before every fight, so there's something a little different. Not sure how finicky this would make the game, but more entries in this space is always welcome. Another beautiful exploration title in early access is Door Inner Child, a title with one of the most unique looks that I have seen. You have to go on a trip to heal your soul, with more story chapters to be added in early access. I do like co-op games, and if you're wondering, that video is coming soon enough, but for now, From the Shadows will have to do. This is a co-op puzzle platformer using light and shadow as mechanics, and while not entirely a new concept in the space, this is a student graduation project that's pretty good for what it is. Also, it's free, so do grab a buddy and dive in. I've mentioned in yesterday's video that I do like my action puzzle games like Tetris, and while the licenses of the bigger franchises do tend to be in the hands of bigger companies, that has not stopped indies from making their own, with the gorgeously meditative Mixolumia looking very neat. If you ever wondered what would happen to Tetris if the entire board was rotated, well, here's your answer. The way that gravity works on this board looks very interesting, and I'm curious as to what determines which blocks will drop. And the best part of all action puzzle games is figuring out the systems like this. One of the most interesting entries of the month is Phobos, a free-to-play 2D MMORPG that gives me vibes of RuneScape but with less woodcutting and more action. Digging a little deeper, this appears to have existed in some form for more than 10 years using a similar premium account model to RuneScape, and as with many games in 2020, has finally launched on Steam. Looks pretty old school and may be worth a play, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos, and I will see you after the jump.